So, are we ever going to change our theme music?
No.
Did Cheers?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying we have to. I'm just kind of like,
Should maybe like a Debbie Gibson or Britney Spears opening?
Speaking of Britney, dude, I saw who was the basketball player? Brittany
Griner.
Brittany Grinder.
No D, but yeah.
Close.
Brittany Griner. So they did an interview. Some YouTuber trapped her and was kind of like, hey, so we have some people that do lip reading, and they said you said some negative things about Caitlin Clark, right? Is that her name?
Yes.
Caitlin Clark, yeah.
And dude, I don't care what she said. I don't care about the interview. She sounded like a dude.
She totally sounded like
She has a
dude.
deep voice.
By the way,
crazy.
she went to Baylor, and they accused her at Baylor of being a dude.
Pull up some audio on that girl.
Yeah.
Would never say that. Like, there's no place for that in our league. Wouldn't say that.
So even though you can't remember, you know that was not what you
I
said.
know it wasn't that because I wouldn't use that type of language.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Oh my God, it's even deeper than I thought.
That is like a baritone.
Are you sure that wasn't dubbed?
No.
I've heard her voice before.
That's really the voice?
And there she is hanging out at a pool with with her breasts exposed. Is that real?
That's not real.
That is real.
That is real. I've seen that before.
Well, she doesn't have boobs then. How's that possible? So it is a dude. What are you talking about?
You fouled out against the Indiana Fever. A lot of people believe what you said was effing white girl or effing white girls. Is it possible that's what you said?
No, would never say that. Like, there's no place for that in our league. Wouldn't say that.
So even though you can't remember, you know that was...
I
don't know.
No idea she sounded that much.
And look, I don't care.
I don't care. I don't
really
care either.
don't, because it works, whatever. But at the same time, they've got video. They got that. Then there's video of her frolicking in a pool where she's throwing the basketball around. She's got no shirt on.
She's topless.
And
there is literally no breast.
I have
she
bigger
looks
boobs
like a
than she
dude.
does. I have bigger boobs than she does, kind of a thing.
Oh,
I mean, look at that hand.
There's something wrong with
she
all
could
that.
palm a basketball. Actually, she looks like a dude from behind.
She's 7 foot.
Yeah,
Maybe,
she's almost 7 feet tall, so consider that.
Yeah,
She
does
can
look
also
like a dude
dunk,
from
you
the
know?
background.
Oh, she could.
Could it be like the boxer? Remember the boxer that took all sorts of heat in the Olympics where...
Well, that was a dude.
Well, I know, but...
Well, you do have people out there that have the...
that are on the in the gray area.
They're out, and she may be one of them. I don't know.
She may be one of them.
I'm not doubting. You
Yeah,
know, whatever.
and there's no reason to dog on her either.
I'm not dogging on her.
No, I kind of started
No.
to. There's no reason to.
I don't mean, I think she's a little rude, but, I don't know how. I see some of the foul. I didn't mean rude, but I think she's a little aggressive on some of her basketball player, but
Right.
I think Caitlin kind of flops a little bit sometimes.
Oh, she does. She does a lot.
that wasn't a flop. I mean, those weren't flops.
Well, not all, that.
Yeah, that was a flop.
Yeah, that was a
flop.
little bit of an exaggeration. We're seeing some clips of, I guess, Caitlin Clark around Griner or around anybody.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is
okay.
June 17th. This is the second half of the Dudes Like Us podcast. I'm Sean.
Oh, wow. I'm Paul.
And I'm Jeff.
Wow, you kind of sprung that on us.
Well, you know what? I didn't want to forget, because you know how we are. ADD. We're going everywhere, man.
It's called age.
Yeah. We got to make sure we get it in there. And, I don't even know if that was on the board.
What, our age?
No, the
Chuck's age?
Brittany Griner thing, but
No, it
was it was just something that was brought up. It just kind of caught
You
me
were
off
talking
guard.
about Grinder, and then you went, oh, speaking of.
Grinder. Your account on Grinder?
No, I don't have an account on Grindr.
Yeah, tell us about that.
It's funny
Tell
because
us
you
about
guys
your Grindr experience.
You guys keep bringing up that Grindr stuff, and I had no idea that it was what you guys said it was.
It's a gay
I just thought it was
had
another
no idea, huh?
dude. I just thought it swipe left or right. Whatever. I've never had one of those, so I don't know.
Well, I think
don't know what to tell you.
I think dating today via the dating apps would just be horrible.
Yes.
Because you could post anything out there and say you're anything.
Anything.
And, Photoshop, use someone else's picture, use a picture from 10 years ago or whatever. And you show up on these dates, you're just like, really?
Well, the other problem is it seems like it's so liberal now, like anybody's good with anything. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know about that. I think
No, I think that's true. I think more people are like, oh yeah, I'll date anything.
Well,
You know what
I
I
don't
mean?
know if
Girl
I-
or guy or with this or that.
I don't
So
know
it's
if I
like-
agree with that because I see some of these interviews of these girls that are on OnlyFans. There's a podcast out there called I can't remember what is it or something like that, and they interview these ladies. They're like, "What is your ideal man?" They're like, "Well, 6'1", 6'2", making over $200,000,
Masculine.
and being this, that, and they're like, you realize that's like 0.2% of the men out there.
Oh yeah.
So your pool of men is actually extremely small. So when they hear that, they're like, most of your men are 5'8" or 9", whatever the average height is.
Yeah, sure.
Making $60,000 a year.
Absolutely.
Weighing this much, and they're like, that's your pool of men. So you're turning all of these men, which are probably extremely good men, for these exceptionally probably stuck on themselves,
and they're probably douchebags, right?
God, look at that.
So we're looking at a panel of women. We got four.
That's a
very,
dude.
very cute. No, it's
boy.
not. It's four very, very cute women, and then Jabba the Hutt.
It's the whatever podcast.
I've watched this.
Is this a regular panel?
No,
they changed
She's
up-
a guest, so she's had her own little thing going on.
Oh no.
See, pull up some audio of her talking. That's got to be hilarious.
Oh no.
I will try to see if I
Do
can
we
find
really
some.
want to hear this?
Oh my God, they have so many memes of her. It's like her friends are all talking, then she gets on there, and then she's
Sounds
like,
like Jabba the Hutt.
"Oh, just,
He's a Han Solo. Wookiee.
Okay.
But
All
these
right.
guys get
Let's be nice.
these guys get these only fan girls on there, and they question them and going, your lifestyle, and you're like, you've had 150 guys,
Yeah.
and
What-
Yeah.
men don't want that
yeah,
No.
they don't.
because you date a man, you're like,
Yeah, we
there's
don't.
150 guys before me. What does it make me think there's going to be 100 guys after me?
Yeah.
Well, but besides that, who wants some vaginal cavity that's been
wow.
Well, yeah.
destroyed 150 times, regardless
Is-
whether?
Is vaginal cavity on the board?
No, I'm just saying, who
I
wants a
don't-
woman that's been
I
used and
hear you.
abused?
I hear
And
you.
it's just like, and it's not just that. It's not just physically. It's mentally too. So when you
Yes.
get on these websites and they're showing their body parts off, they're masturbating, and it's
Quite honestly,
they're not desirable.
Quite honestly, somebody you would be interested, you would want them to have a certain image of what sex means. Does that make sense?
Quick freeze.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
That's what she sounds.
Yes. Okay. But I mean, do you guys agree with me? I mean, they want somebody that has a certain opinion about what sex means. Like, it's a connection with another human being. It's not have sex with 150 guys because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, men don't want that. They don't want the person that has multiples and multiples.
it's a
The high
connection.
body count.
It's an intimate connection. And
I mean,
it should be.
if you have a Snickers bar and it's in
Oh,
the
boy.
wrapper and
Oh,
you open it up and oh my God, it falls on the ground and you're not going to pick it up off the ground and eat it.
Well,
Depending where
5
you're
second
at.
rule.
Well, I mean, depending where you're at. I'm just saying, you don't want something nasty like that. It's just like, because look, if your partner is out, if the woman is out there and has that many relationships, she's obviously
right. And you're like, I would date you, but you're a dirty
low
Snickers bar.
self-esteem. I mean, you don't want somebody like that.
No,
I mean,
no, you're not.
I
Well,
hear
it's a matter of trust as well. You're like, you had all these men. What makes you think, oh, I'm finally the one that's going to lock you
Right.
down?
Yep.
Yeah.
You're going to settle down.
and is
not,
that because I have money?
and not
Yeah.
want that anymore?
Is that the size of my penis?
Correct.
I mean,
What-
I've got
what-
all the desirable things.
What makes me the one? All these other 150 other guys that you did or whatever, and I think these girls are going around about it. Granted, they're probably making serious bank,
They
but
They
you know,
are. I mean, you got the guys that paying them like, I'll give you $2,500 if you fart in a mason jar and mail it to me.
yeah, I mean, they're making
Hey,
obscene
why don't you give me
amounts
that
of
dirty
money.
sock over there?
Right.
You know, how about your shoe? Mail me your shoes. I'll give you like $1,500.
Yeah. Did you see the girl who had it was her claim to fame? She
Haktua?
no, she fucked 1,000 guys in one
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, come on.
What the
That's
fuck?
So gross.
Get out of here.
You know, and why? What the hell? For
Was
one
it like a few thrusts and then done?
I don't know.
Yeah. That's exactly what it was.
I mean,
Well,
that would be frustrating for me because like I gotta finish, you know.
Wow.
Well, how would you like to be the 999th guy or the 1,000th guy? What is that looking like down there? What's it smelling like? And
Okay.
Like ringing a dinner bell, man.
it's just like, you know, the guys are just as raunchy. First guy, you're right on. After that, you're just like, dude,
Time for the butthole.
Yeah, and I'm sure there was some of that too. But I remember I read something
Actually,
where
she said no. That's not something she was into.
no butt, as everything was
That's
just.
what she said.
Oh.
She said she would be.
It's
willing,
good to know that she's got limitations.
Yeah, right. She said she would be
limits,
willing
yeah.
to try that later. I was like, okay, let's not talk about this. This is so gross.
Well, it is. This girl.
So
This
gross.
girl is nasty, and it's just what.
And you know what? And it's on it. Thank God they didn't put it on the mainstream. They'd be crucified if they put that on Fox News or CNN or something like that. But it's been on the mainstream on some of these memes. And
It
it's
has.
kind of like, who wants to know that? That is not something that the children of now need to look up to. And
No.
certain stuff like that needs to they need to drop the hammer on some of that stuff. And I know it's probably, well, you can't because, you know, we have our rights to do this kind of stuff.
They can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
But
I think it's inappropriate. It's highly inappropriate.
if they want to treat their body like that, whatever. But don't expect some guy to come around and go, okay, yeah, I know you slept with 1,000 guys in 24 hours. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Our kids are just going to fall right out.
I kind of agree with your assessment of it. I mean, and not to belabor this topic, but I mean, it's self-esteem.
Oh, it is.
I mean, obviously, there's something going on with if you don't appreciate your, you know what I mean.
Look, there are
your
a
body.
lot of women, girls that are out there on the internet, and they have these relationships with these younger guys. That there's no sex. They're streaming. They're either doing, I don't even know what if they use a specific app. They do like Snapchat or something. They just sit there and talk. That's it for hours.
Right.
While they're cooking, driving, going to the store.
Right.
Sitting there playing a video game. They're just sitting there. They've got like people watching you.
Right.
That it's creepy. It's just like, how did we get here? Is life that bad? Are you that? I don't want to say that they're shallow, but it's
Lonely. Yes, I think that's a big part of it because OnlyFans, when you subscribe to OnlyFans, depending on how much money you give them, they give you individual attention.
Correct. I think it's lonely guys.
It's lonely guys that are paying a ton of money to have them do a special thing for them.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, it's a bunch of lonely men. I'm thinking, porn is essentially free. Why are you going to?
Yeah, that's true.
Why are you spending money on it now? Because you want the individual.
You want a feeling. You want a feeling of an intimate connection.
Right. I mean, if you're just there to look at some vag,
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Man.
It's there.
Who hurt you?
Can we make a list of words? I want a list of words that we are never allowed to say, and I think Jeff saying vag is one of them. Well, you weren't much better. What'd you say? Vaginal canal or whatever you said. Cavity. That wasn't much better.
So,
no V words from now on, or C words either.
So who is this woman? Is she some porn star that we're seeing with the
this is the girl.
That's the one. Her name is Bonnie Blue.
She's with an Andrew Tate guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew Tate is married with children.
Is he?
Yes. Well, I mean, I know he has children. I thought he was married.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think
Yeah,
so
he's all
either.
about
He just went to prison in
I thought
Romania or somewhere.
Yeah, is this an old picture or something?
No, this is new. They just did an interview.
Because I thought he literally is incarcerated in Romania.
He's
just
under
got
house
out.
arrest or something.
He got
like
out
that, yeah.
6 months ago.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, so no, Andrew Tate is not married, according to news.
yeah, I wouldn't think his wife would be okay with that. So,
Yeah, but okay, but he does have kids, and I thought they had some sort of relationship.
I mean, if she's made a ton of money, why isn't she already done? I can understand if a woman is willing to put herself through all sorts of degrading, humiliating things and degrade her body and all that kind of stuff, and then make her $20 million and walk away and disappear.
I saw.
But she's still doing it.
There's another OnlyFans girl out there who had a
Yes.
picture out there who said had her earnings compared to what she did. She goes, I made $75 million last year and I'm still a virgin. You slept with 1,000 guys in an hour and you only made whatever.
Damn.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Hell, there are people that just show their feet.
That's what she's doing. She's like,
Feet
she's
in
probably
Jell-O and feet in beans.
Yep.
Feet in like weird shit, and people are like, that's a fetish.
She
Your
made 70
browser history must be insane.
So Andrew Tate is kind of like Elon Musk.
Your search history must be insane.
Mine?
Yeah.
No,
Feet in Jello.
no. We were talking about this.
Butt molds.
All right.
We were talking about this when I was with my coworkers, and they were talking. I mean, they were just sharing these all the whatever they know about OnlyFans, and it's everything. Like it's literally everything. And a lot of
is.
it, I don't know how much of it is porn related, and
There's more than just.
So hold on.
A lot of it's not.
Most
porn.
of the people at your office have OnlyFans connection.
No,
Is that what you're saying?
no, except that we were talking about OnlyFans, and everybody had something different to bring to the conversation.
Oh, so
I
this
had
is
no
a normal
idea.
conversation at your work.
Of course, yeah. No, this is
So one of them probably had OnlyFans, but was acting like they didn't.
which was me. You
No,
mean?
I mean,
I don't know.
it's just like when you're like I'm on Reddit. I'll read these posts. They're like all these horrible drivers out there. They're doing this. I'm like, so you're telling me the 80 people in this thread are the perfect drivers in this world?
Right,
no,
right.
we're all shit drivers.
Yeah,
at some
not
point.
one of them.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have 80 people talk about. Oh, I've heard about this. I've heard. No, someone here has OnlyFans.
That's funny.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Someone does.
yeah. But I know what you mean. Anyway,
I wouldn't dare download that.
OnlyFans.
I wouldn't download any of that crap. If I would be mortified if my wife ever, even if I were not fucking around like cheating or something, if I were just wanting to see what it is, just
Just say-
explore what is this about.
Just tell us, I'm researching for the thing. I have to look at OnlyFans.
Yeah, this is a podcast research.
No, I would.
Yes.
I wouldn't even do that. Yeah, we're looking at
Have
still,
her do it. Just go, can you
No.
research this for me? I'll sit behind you. Naked. I'll be naked
So
behind
we
you.
brought up
Baby oil.
naked. We brought.
Don't be uncomfortable either.
Yeah.
Who's that Peter Griffin actor behind you?
God.
So while Andrew Tate has children with multiple women,
Oh, there you
yeah,
go.
just like
That's-
Elon Musk.
There you go.
Wow. Interesting. Interesting.
Yep. So OnlyFans,
Yeah, not a good thing.
Well, any of them really.
well, it kind of started with Pornhub. Well, it started with the internet for one thing. That's what made porn so.
It was like FaceHub, like Facebook, MySpace, and then I think that's what they took MySpace and put it on steroids. With Mark Zuckerberg introduced the Facebook. We're coming up with a logarithm to grade chicks.
Oh,
Right.
is that how it
Yeah.
started?
Yeah,
Yeah, the what was it called? The Social Network
Oh, yeah.
movie.
that movie.
Yeah, that kind
Yeah.
of goes into the background a little bit, and he debunks a lot of it. But yeah, the story is that he was just basically making a website for his buddies to rate the chicks that were at
And
Harvard.
look at him now.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, that's what it takes.
that's how it happens. That's what we clichely say now. Is that a word? Clichely? It's what we say now, like the hawk to a moment.
Yeah.
We had a big one.
Yeah.
I
He
tell you
did.
what, I think Facebook, if they don't, they're trying to shift, but Facebook is a old people app now.
Oh, really? What have
Young-
people moved on to?
Young folks do not use Facebook. When I say young, probably 30s and below. It's all for folks our age who want to stay in touch with their kids and their high school mates.
Yep.
The young people don't. I know my sister's daughters don't use it, and she's 30 and 28, right? They're
Okay.
like, yeah, and they even said that, yeah, Facebook's for old people.
So are they Instagram?
Uh,
Are they not Spotify?
they'll
Snapchat
do
or-
Snapchat, they'll do Instagram, those things, but Facebook is
Yeah.
off limits because
that's where your parents go.
that's where the parents go, and you don't want to be associated with that. So
Parents and parents porn.
at some point, Facebook is going to peter out. Like I said, unless granted they own Instagram as well. Unless they shift, and they're trying to with this whole meta thing.
Yeah,
and this,
they have to reinvent themselves.
correct. They're
It's
going to have
kind
to.
of like bars. You know what I mean?
Right.
Bars are constantly changing their name and seeing fresh because it gets stale.
Right.
It's the same concept, right?
They're on the TikToks.
Yeah, TikTok,
Tops.
the Twitches. They're not on the Facebook is just olds like us.
Well,
Interesting.
the whole dopamine effect with the what do they call it? The death scroll,
Oh, boy.
Doom scroll.
Yeah.
Right.
the doom scroll. Is that what it's
Yes.
called? That's a thing, man. And I suffer from that, and it's difficult. It's difficult. I try because every week my phone comes up with a report. Hey, you're a loser. You spent this much time doing this. I was
You're
like,
like,
oh shit, man, damn.
It
Really?
says that to you? You're
Yeah.
a loser?
Well, I mean, I'm paraphrasing a little
Oh,
bit.
okay.
But it says you spent this much time on Instagram and stuff, or
I get it.
It's like, damn. I don't. Sometimes I'm on the couch. I'm watching the Gutfeld show or something, and I picked up my phone and just whatever. And it's like as soon as you set your phone down, I swear to God, the phone makes a noise, ding, and it's like, oh, I gotta look at
It's
it.
like,
Yeah,
And
dopamine.
nobody texted me. Nobody did anything, but my phone made a
There
noise.
was an inexplicable alert noise.
Yeah, it just made. So I pick it up, and all of a sudden I'm on the Doom, whatever that thing is again.
You know what? There are moments, like if you have like a 4-hour layover in an airport, that's perfect.
I
for
read
the
my
death
book.
spiral.
No, you read your book.
Well, I get it. I'm just saying, if you want to eat up a chunk of time, and when I do that, I don't do it very often, but when I do, I'm laughing my ass off at some, animal thing, or
you're like, wow, that's wholly offensive, kind of a thing.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's. I'm laughing. I'm laughing a lot.
It's usually because my other friends from Cincinnati send me something. I was like, oh my god, that's terrible.
No,
and I send it to you guys.
I'm doing the scroll where I don't know who any of them are. Like I don't.
Well, that's an algorithm, right? So if you
Yeah.
start lingering on certain kind, it's going to go, oh, you like those kind of things.
Yep.
Oh, I'm going to show you more boobs. I'm going to show you more horse
Right.
dick or whatever you're looking at, right?
Mine are a lot of animals freaking out, doing funny things. I don't. So
Did
I
you just
guess.
say horse dick?
Well, he said animals
Wow.
doing freaky things.
Wow.
I don't think horse dick is one of the things in my feed, but yeah. So
You ever
know,
seen that old classic video of some dude being
No,
taken by a horse?
no, really.
You
You
said
say
it's a
that.
classic video?
I don't know. I mean, there's probably a lot of them, but there's one that was like kind of like Two Chicks, One Cupper. Is that what it's called? Do you remember that time? That time where all those videos were like, oh my god, this is the latest craze. There was one out there with some dude.
Craze? Really?
Was it?
No. Maybe on OnlyFans.
Some dude.
I'll tell you what,
getting-
Mark ruined my life.
I never saw
Mark
that one.
Lavinka.
Yes.
Mark Lavinka. Here, come here, Sean. And I was like, what? He was like, I want you to look at this. And I was like, what? What am I looking at?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I see this schooner cup, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. What is that for? And then all of a sudden, there was a soft serve filling the schooner. And then I realized where it was coming from.
Oh.
And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Two girls in a cup.
Yeah, is that what it's called? Oh, you really nailed that. You kind of,
Oh, that rattled right off.
Yeah.
So Sean
That's-
talked about it many
that's in his
times.
archive.
yeah.
I didn't realize it was a schooner.
Readily accessible.
He knew the cup type.
It was a scooter.
But you know what? Honestly, there are things you can't unsee.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Mark sent me one that I can never unsee. And yes, it had to do with some sort of defecation. But anyway, the point is, we don't need to be seeing that shit, man. It's not good for us.
No, it's-
People,
It
some
really
people
It's
get into that.
not good for us.
Some people get into that though. It's a fetish, and I don't understand it. But there are some really, really strange fetishes out there,
Yeah, there are.
and that's one of them where you
And
get
I
shit
say
on.
we don't get into those. I say we move on to a new topic. Let's talk about something.
That's the top 10 list. I see one.
No.
Top 10 fetishes.
Weirdest fetishes. And here's the video proof.
Here we go.
Yeah,
Yes.
no.
Number one backyard or underground cellar
Oh.
device is Iron Maiden for Jeff.
Yes,
Wow.
Iron
Yeah,
Maiden.
no, let's not do that. I have an unbelievable story I want to share. I mean, that we've all.
unbelievable.
Yes. The sole survivor of that Air India plane crash.
That is crazy.
What is the deal with that? Did you, Jeff? You were out of town.
I saw footage of the crash. It looks like it just lost power.
Yes, and just dropped
and
onto
I-
this apartment complex.
Yeah, and was the survivor on the plane or in
Yes.
the apartment?
On the plane.
On the plane, like see row 11 or something.
Yes.
I saw-
Seat
I saw-
11A.
Yeah, I saw something where some guy comes stumbling out.
Yeah.
Is that him right there?
Yes.
Sam, yeah.
And people don't even realize he's from the wreckage. And he doesn't. He's like he's just kind of stumbling around. He doesn't really
Show
know.
that again. It showed. There's a video of him stumbling out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
coming
in the
out of the
square.
wreckage.
He had to have gotten thrown or something.
He
So
said he walked
his-
out,
His story is the plane crashed.
split in half.
He was able to. He said there were bodies everywhere, and he was able to unbuckle his seat and stand up and walk out of the wreckage. And he said there were other people that were trapped.
Alive still?
Yeah, alive and trapped, and I guess flame engulfed the whole thing like a fireball.
Right.
And he was able to kind of miss the whole thing and
Well,
just walk out
it was a freshly launched plane, so it was
Yes.
full of fuel.
full of
Yeah.
fuel.
Boeing's having a hard time these
Dude, what
last
is
5
up
years or
with
so.
Boeing right now, man?
Well, we don't know what the cause of the failure. Yet.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
No,
But
we
look,
don't.
there's the guy. He's walking out. He's got a white T-shirt. He's like, "Hey, what's going on?" They
He's
just had like a
"Bitch,
3-day
give me a-
binge drinking problem.
Give me a beer.
That's exactly what he looks like. He's like,
he's like, fuck that shit.
But no, I don't think he was. I think you might be misreading this a little bit, Jeff. No, but imagine being 271 people died.
I bet he has a lot of mental challenges going forward.
Already.
That's that survivor guilt.
Yes, he already in the hospital bed. He was like, I don't understand.
242.
I don't understand why I'm here.
Yeah,
I don't understand
because that survivor guilt's
it's
real.
real.
Yeah.
I mean, how would you want to be the one person out of the whole plane that survives with basically unscathed?
Right. I was watching. It's one of our topics up there. Yeah. Look at this. It
just drops.
Right. And I saw some footage online where nothing on the plane worked. And there you saw pictures of them trying to use the TV or the phone or whatever, and none of it worked. I don't know if that was the same or someone stitched some fucking stupid video to it, but
I know.
Apparently it sounds like it just lost power.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's true.
The pilot was calling Mayday. He said, "I have no engines and no lift." That's what he was screaming into the Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. I got no lift. I got no lift. Yeah. And they saying the engines just died, which is unheard of on an aircraft because there's redundancy after redundancy after redundancy. What is going on with Boeing?
Makes you wonder.
I don't know.
Yeah, what's going on with Boeing? I don't know.
Oh, I mean, all right. So, who are Boeing competitors? You think it's
Airbus?
Nefarious? That is
no. Airbus is struggling too.
I don't think it's nefarious.
Not to the level I think Boeing is.
Well, I mean, do you think it's a wear and tear issue? Do you think it's a lack of maintenance?
I think. Well, you need to watch the Boeing documentary on Netflix. I think it's and I've read.
You don't think they fixed it after that?
No, I think they fixed it, but I think what's happened is I think the culture at Boeing, and again, this is from completely outside, but this is what I've read, some interviews by folks that work there, that the atmosphere at Boeing has chased away the best of the best engineers.
Because of McDonnell Douglas.
Right. That
the leadership.
Just the atmosphere, how they're, like we got to save money. Well, you make this much money, let's bring in someone else who's younger. So I'm not saying that the engineers that they're coming in are not good. They're just not as good.
You think they're DEI hires?
I don't know about. I don't know. But that's kind of the
is Boeing one of those companies that subscribes to that policy?
It's out of Seattle.
Not anymore, but I doubt they do anymore. But I have no idea.
Well,
why am I
based in Seattle? But Boeing is never going to go away. I mean, they make
they still have massive contracts with the government, and not current ones for the new planes or products, but they have old ones to maintain them. They have a responsibility.
Well, they make Air Force One, right? So that'll be ready in 2035. Takes 15 years to build that thing.
Well, they borrowed the Dubai one.
Well, I don't know. Is that still going to happen?
I don't know.
Well,
was it Dubai? Was it Dubai?
No, it was Qatar.
Oh, that's right.
But Boeing.
Is it going to take 15 years to build that fucking thing?
Yeah, so it's not going to be right till 2035. That's why Qatar is like, here, use our plane until then.
Yeah, Trump was really frustrated that it was taking them that long.
That is an amazingly long time.
Yes.
Yeah, because they have air conditioning in the seats, and they have.
It's probably inefficiencies, and I'm sure Air Force One is much more complicated than any of the other planes.
They have built-in CPAP in every seat.
Full mask.
I have no idea.
Full mask.
To me, it seems kind of like borrow hours. What the hell? They have an Air Force One because Air Force One has to be souped up with some massive anti-missile, anti-everything.
Yeah, it has what do you call the things that shoot out? Boom, boom,
flares.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, they're called
shafts.
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 Shave.
We're idiots.
Shave.
Not shave.
Shave.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have those things that
deploy
pop out
the chaffs
to make a missile miss the plane.
Yes.
Whatever they are. But my point is, what they have one of those already ready? Why would they need something like that? Is that like, fuck it, we're going to make one? We're going to make a mock-up Air Force One?
No, they're making the next iteration of Air Force One, right?
No, you asking about why does Qatar or
they're like, hey, use ours for now. Are you saying that one's all ready to go?
That's what I said. That's what I thought too. I was like, there's no way it's up to spec.
No, it's just a luxury liner that they said, here, you can use this.
Yeah, but it's got to have, like he said, all the shavings and the shaffings and
it doesn't
whatever.
I'm not saying that it would be. Well, I don't know. I don't know what the whole thing was, but from what I heard is it was given to wasn't given to Trump. It It was given to the government of the United States.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Here,
Yeah, because
we have this.
the liberals were like, "Oh, this is a gift. You can't have a gift." They were like freaking out.
Yeah, well, I'm not keeping the plane when I leave.
Right.
Well, that whole thing was stupid. Just another thing for them to argue about. It's frankly, it's embarrassing. Right down to this last freaking riot, the escapades with the No Kings things. This whole thing is ridiculous.
Well, did you guys watch the parade, the 250th anniversary? I watched some of it.
I didn't. The military parade.
I watched some of it, and it was fascinating.
Was it?
Oh, I didn't watch all of it. I watched probably a half hour of it. But you had the big-ass Bradleys going down there, the tanks.
The M1 tanks.
Oh, the M1, A1, whatever
Did they have any
variation.
Shermans from World War II?
Those blew
Because
up.
they had old shit too, right?
They had a couple of Panzer divisions.
No,
out there.
yeah. Wow, which makes no sense at all, right?
No. Well, I don't know. The only ones I saw were the new ones. But I know that
they had old shit too. Well, they had soldiers in World War I uniforms.
Correct. Correct.
Soldiers in World War II uniforms.
Can you imagine idiot riders getting in front of those things?
Yeah, that wouldn't go well.
Yeah, some people were going, they're going to tear up the road.
Okay,
You know.
why are they goat boys? I didn't understand that at all.
That's more of a jackass.
But I think this is a huge flex, for one thing, to other countries. Going,
First Cavalry.
you know,
think so?
look at our shit. And
Yeah.
they were pulling. You know, when you see like a Bradley or something like that pulling like the big howitzer, the big gun on the the trailer. Well, they were pulling a trailer, but it had no gun on it. It had something else on there. I have no idea what it was.
Scud missile?
It was an EMP.
Yeah, I have no idea what it was, and it went by too fast for me because I asked the guy I was with. I was like, "What is that?"
Oh shit! Is that part of the parade?
Global LiDAR?
Yes.
Damn, that looks badass.
And they had the Golden Knights.
I need to go back and watch
that.
that.
Look at those. Those are some awesome.
Well, the guns. I mean, look at that.
That's pretty cool.
That looks like a robot.
My neighbor has one of those actually.
That would look like a drone-ish.
Look, it's 250 years of our army.
Yes.
And it needs to be celebrated. And they're throwing stones at the whole
Well, I also heard
gesture.
that.
It's like, come on.
Well, I
man.
heard that they were like,
Because
"Well,
they
this
hate
is
Trump. They hate Trump.
But,
That's why.
But when was this planned? I heard it was planned
2 years ago.
So this is not Trump.
This is not Trump.
No.
That's what's so dumb about this
I
whole
know.
thing. It's so they're so absolutely Trump derangement syndrome that they just can't think clearly or rationally about anything.
No.
I'm amazed how they're able to keep Trump alive.
No kidding.
Well, I heard that Netanyahu came out and says, yeah, he was on the assassinate hit from
Apparently, there
Iran.
were 2 attempts on Iran from Iran on Trump during the election. During the election is what
In
is the
addition to
latest
what
I
we
heard.
know about.
That meaning it was when I say attempts, it was foiled without, I guess, us knowing about it. I mean, what the hell? How did we not know that they were 2 foiled attempts?
Well, there's layers and layers and layers of security. So there's probably some of the outer stuff, and they were
Sure.
I don't know. I haven't heard that.
I heard that.
Actually, I did hear it.
I heard that yesterday.
I've heard that they had some hits on him, but I just didn't. Not actual ones, but they had some plans on it.
Yeah. Dude, those tanks are badass, man.
Yeah, well, you know what? This reminds me when I grew up as a military brat. They would have annual not Pride Day, annual.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Well, you
yeah.
knew that about you.
Yes.
And you were
They had-
one of the little kids.
They had the Armed Forces Day, and when you lived over in Germany, like we did, they went all out. They took all the toys out of the toy box and they set them up there, and the parents, the military soldiers, and their families would go out there. They had a super large picnic, and back then they would have a helicopter, and it was a Huey, and it'd pick you up from one side of the place, and it drive you about a mile away and drop you down, and you took a Jeep all the way back.
Yeah.
It was fun. You can't get away with that shit nowadays, but back then you could.
Yeah.
And big C-130s.
Oh, yeah.
I remember in El Paso when we stayed there in the mid-'80s, they had something called the Amigo Air Show at Biggs Army Airfield, and they had the same thing, just a plethora of amazing aircrafts. And tanks and jeeps and the Tomahawk missiles setups, the Patriot missiles, everything that you could fathom was there, sitting out there for you to take a look at. And I remember the Harrier that came in and flew. And
Harriers.
Oh man,
Harriers.
Vertical takeoff.
Are you sure it was a Harrier? That's a British
VTOL.
plane.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it was one of those vertical styles. So
Right.
we have a Harrier.
U.S.
right?
has those. Yep.
Yeah. So the
Harrier is British, though.
I know,
Well-
but we have a fleet of them.
Yeah.
I know we do.
Well, we do now. Not of Harriers, but other
Well, we
planes
did-
that do it.
we had a plane that did that,
Correct.
and I understood it to be called a Harrier back then.
I guess
So-
we could have bought some Harriers.
That's
from-
what
Sure.
I actually think that's the case.
Okay.
But I don't know.
when they
I
when
think
they
the F-35 does it now.
Ooh,
when they
badass.
came in, the Harrier would first of all it take off real fast.
Right.
You know, go
Yeah.
straight up and boom,
There's the
and it would
Harrier.
come back, and
that?
then
Like
it was
this?
not that one. That was a biplane.
No, that takes off like that.
Yeah, hold on. I'm looking at that. Is that a hurricane coming
We're,
in?
we're looking
and,
at a
and the little plane flies away.
Yeah,
we're like a
vertically
little
lifts off.
VTOL.
See, there it goes.
That's a small life. But when we were at the Amigo Air Show, we're sitting in the front, and this Harrier comes in, and it comes back down after doing all kinds of crazy shit, and it bows down. You know, and it just and you're looking at this thing, and you can like see the fuel dripping out of the thing. That's how much fuel it takes.
Oh yeah,
It's amazing. And the SR-71,
Yep.
and just those types of high speed surveillance planes.
Amazing.
Yeah, that stuff is awesome to see.
Just
these-
military stuff in general is.
These Ospreys are cool.
Oh yeah, the VTOL helicopter looking things.
Yeah. I was up in Colorado visiting my wife's cousin and her husband, and he mentioned something. Mr. Producer, you may be able to help to find this because we were watching this the thing. We were talking about tanks. He goes, I think tanks may be out of
Obsolete
as a type of wars we're fighting. He goes, but also he goes, look what's happening over there in Ukraine and Russia. He goes, but they have these weapons. It's a huge tungsten rod that they shoot at these tanks, and it busts through, and as it goes through this tungsten rod heats up, and it vaporizes everything inside the tank.
God.
So you got this molten, vaporized tungsten that's burst through,
and you're a
this tank.
sitting duck.
Yeah, and everything inside. These
Well, it ends quickly.
Yeah, so you're vaporized.
But
basically.
they have they've got they've got weapons against that too. I mean, they've got these things that will sit on the side of a tank, and literally they can detect stuff like that coming in, and it'll spritz these little aluminum phosphorus. I don't even know what they are. I'm making that up. Out that covers like 10,000 square feet out and all around them.
Imagine if we spent the money we spend on trying to figure out how to kill people. Imagine how if we spent that same amount of money trying to save people or help people. Wouldn't that be amazing?
But you can't. You have to anticipate.
You have to have
the evils in the world.
You do,
and unfortunately, there's a lot of them, and
That's
all
true.
types of flavors. It's not just from what I anticipate the Muslim population. It's even us. It's within. It's everywhere. It's all over the freaking planet. In every shades and every color.
There's threats in every, like you said, every shade. And every color.
It's greed. It's greed. It's religion. Greed is a big proponent, but is a big source of why people want to kill people all the time. That's Hillary Clinton, greed.
Yep.
She wanted power too. I guess that's part of greed as well.
Right.
Oh, she was big on power. So
Jill Biden.
I don't mean to take a left turn here, but I've been staring at this word on the board for so long. Melungeon. I have to. I'm tired of looking at it without knowing what the hell it is.
Well, I have
Jeff,
never.
what is a Melungeon?
I have never heard this word before until the other day, and we were up in Colorado, and she did a DNA test to figure out because her daughter had a senior in her high school, or maybe it was her college, I don't know, project. So her and her daughter did this.
Okay.
And her husband came from here, and she goes, I found out that. Have you ever heard the word Melungeon? I was like, I've never heard that.
No.
She goes, apparently I'm a Melungeon. And what it is from the Appalachia. From Appalachia specifically, that it is a mix of many heritages and a lot of it is sub-Saharan Africa.
What?
So
from the Appalachians.
From the Appalachians. So she's 3% sub-Saharan Africa. Like that's where the black folk come from, like Nigeria.
Yeah.
Like Nigeria specifically. She's as white as you and I.
Absolutely.
And if you Google, pull up here, go to Grok, go put in there, famous Melungeons.
Okay.
You'll be surprised who these people are.
Yeah, who even knows that they are a Melungeon?
Well, it's a trifecta: European, African, and Native Americans.
Wow. Okay. All right, here we go. Grok? What is it? Grok or grunk? Grok.
Right. So, to a mixed race group of Appalachia with European, African, and Native American: Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, wow.
Elvis Presley. Ava Gardner. I don't know who Bill Monroe is.
Heather Locklear.
Tom Hanks, Natasha Mullins, Fiona Apple, Steve Martin. Another one I saw was Dolly Parton.
I would think that there are a lot of people.
I was going to say, is it possible any of us could be that if we did our 23andMe and we find out
how much of each would you have to have?
Well, she's 3%. I was like, so are you? Because she's looking for a job.
3% what?
Black. African.
So she's going to use that as...
She goes, I have. She goes, I put in.
Oh, my God.
She goes, I put
Does that
on,
qualify?
What? How much qualifies?
Do you have to prove it?
I don't know.
Do you have to prove it with the DNA
she said
test?
Elizabeth Warren wants 0.1. You know, because at the end of the day, we're all mutts.
Well, I know. But I think what's interesting is I had never heard of this term before.
I never heard of that either.
Me neither.
And usually when you hear that you're a percentage, good Lord.
Yeah, hold on. Let's take a pause here. Something happened to Sean.
I'm going to have to accentuate that when I edit.
I think he started to talk after taking a big swig, and he was like...
Well, when you're drinking 135 proof stuff...
Okay, you can't drink it like a normal drink. You have to be...
I took a little bit too big of a pull, and it went in the wrong hole.
You went,
whoa.
Yeah. Anyway,
where were you putting the bottle?
I found this very interesting as far as the term, for one thing.
Yes, it's a very unique term.
And the fact that the percentage was higher than I thought as far as the Nigerian in her.
Yeah. That's fascinating. But you're right. We're mutts. We're all mutts.
Yeah, I'm kind of,
I don't think we're all are, because her husband was from Norway. That was it.
Really?
Yeah, but their kids now are mutts.
Like that.
It was that
pure.
That pure. His whole side was Norway and Scandinavia.
God.
Yeah, but now their kids are mutts. So
her kid is.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. So it only takes one generation to make that
Paul
happen.
said everybody are mutts.
That's
not direct.
I mean,
true.
That's true.
True. I think that's too general.
It is general.
Yeah. So I
think people in America mostly are. People like in Europe, maybe they've been there for generations and generations. But here we're.
That's a great question. I have no idea what percentage. I mean, okay. First off, what would you consider pure? Somebody that's 80+% of something, a certain type.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Elizabeth Warren said she was 1/1000th.
There is a way to clarify
and we
this.
are all
close
that,
enough.
Apparently,
there is a way to clarify this, and this brings up. I have a friend. In fact, we had him on the podcast. His name's Taylor.
I remember
Taylor?
him.
So Taylor is part Indian, native Indian, and there is a certain percentage of native Indian that you have to be in order to qualify for some of the benefits that Native Americans get.
Like free drinks on Southwest Airlines?
Maybe. No, for medical care, free medical. Essentially, there's a whole thing that their community offers to them. Land, I don't even know. Free membership, I don't know.
Did you know that back in the 70s, there was a program by the U.S. government to sterilize the Indian population?
Good Lord. What a nightmare.
Back in the 70s, there was...
Was that alcohol?
No, it was... If a lady goes in to give birth to a doctor, they would basically...
Make it the last pregnancy.
Make it the last one she
God,
ever had.
that's awful.
That was in the 70s.
That is a form of genocide.
That's what it was called. They were trying to eradicate that.
That is disgusting.
Wow. U.S. government.
Thanks for sharing that, Jeff.
Yeah.
I'm proud of being an American, but I am.
Play the music, Chuck.
Look, we do a lot of fucked up shit.
Yeah. We do.
And
we have a dark history in a lot of different places.
All countries have a dark history. So I don't want to just say we do.
True.
They all have a dark history. But look, man, we have fucked around everywhere on this planet.
Yeah.
That's true.
You and I didn't know. Our parents didn't know. We're all in the we have no idea what the government is doing. They've got this. I don't want to say shadow government, but they've got stuff going on. People poking the bear all over the planet.
Yeah, and we've made mistakes. Everybody's made mistakes. And
it's bigger than mistakes,
and
man.
we strive to do better, right?
Yeah, there.
We strive to do better.
What is it saying there?
It was rooted in eugenics.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says a quarter to half of Native American women of childbearing age were sterilized between 70 and 76, with some sources citing up to 70,000 women affected.
That's just gross.
Now, it does say often without their full or informed consent.
Oh, that's
so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I never knew that.
That's
that
rough.
is really gross.
It's something new I learned, and that's not taught in the history books.
No, it isn't.
I also learned that when I was up in Wyoming, that there was a German POW camp up there. Were you aware of that?
Where?
In Wyoming.
There's one
During
in
the war.
Texas.
And there's one down here in Farmersville.
German
I think.
and Japanese.
Yeah.
I thought there was
Well,
two out there.
Japanese are internment camps. These were POW camps where we
POW camps.
boated folks over here
Yeah.
that we captured over there.
Were those the
Oh.
scientists that we allowed
they
over
were
here?
they were just German soldiers that were caught.
That's weird. Why would we spend the money to do that?
I want to say there was one in the Hill Country too, in like Fredericksburg or somewhere.
Yeah, they've been around here,
Yeah.
but there's one up there, and it still exists. Obviously not as a POW camp, but people live there now.
So were they ever released? They open up a bunch of German restaurants?
They said that Germans are big up there as far as populous as Wyoming is.
Crazy.
I didn't know. I never knew that.
I didn't know that either.
I
I've never heard
either.
of that.
I
didn't
had
know
no idea they had. You said internment camps. I knew about that.
These were POW camps.
I know. This is totally different.
Yeah.
Right. And even internment camps was not good.
No.
Yeah.
These were Americans that they were, putting in camps. Now they weren't like
It's not their fault. The Pearl Harbor happened. You know,
Right.
I was like, what the hell?
Japanese Americans. They didn't.
I've owned
ask
this
for that.
laundry shop for 20 years. What the hell?
No, that was jacked up. Man.
Yeah. So
we made mistakes.
yeah, they put them out there, and what they told me is they put it out here because it was in the mountains. They're like, you can't escape because there's nothing around.
Right.
Especially way back in the
You'll
40s.
get trampled by moose.
Right. Yes, and mountain
You
lions.
freeze to death.
They also
that too. I didn't think about
they
that.
also have wolves up there. Timber wolves.
Dire wolves.
Yeah, dire wolves.
They have hellhounds.
The Cerebus.
Okay.
Three-headed dog.
Wow. How do we get on this one?
God.
Wait, how do we do this? How do we do what we do?
You
What
brought
is the magic behind
It's
this
like the three-headed
podcast?
dog from Harry Potter.
Yes.
Hades. No.
Went to sleep when you blew the...
Is it not Hades?
Yeah, it is Hades. He guards the city,
Look at me.
the river,
wow.
river
Yeah, suck
Styx.
River Styx.
River Styx.
Don't pay the ferryman. Don't even fix a price. Name that band. Go.
That's the guy who sang Lady in Red.
That's not.
Krista Berg.
Okay,
Is that
well,
a band?
I was trying to get him to. He had a band, did he not? It was an artist with a band.
No, it was just him and a keyboard.
Okay, fine. He was a solo artist.
He was one of those with the
Damn it, man.
with the drum and the tambourine. He'd walk with it.
And the triangle.
And a triangle.
Don't even ding ding ding
He was
ding
an
ding
Oompa
ding
Loompa.
ding ding ding.
And a tuba.
Wow. Okay,
Yes.
wheels off. All right. What else do we have? Stanley Cup
What is
Finals.
Okay, I was going to bring up the Oceangate.
Oh, no,
what
let's
is
do it.
that?
No. Let's do that.
What
That's
is
a good
what
one.
was going on with that?
Okay, so you said it's a new documentary.
Oh, yeah, it's a new documentary. Just came out on Netflix. Again, highly recommended. It's about the Titan that imploded.
That was so jacked up.
Right.
Did they go into the details of how he
Oh.
just blew past every safety check?
Yes.
Oh, awful.
And this guy seems like a
Total whack.
narcissist egomaniac. This Stockton Rush guy.
He killed a billionaire and his son.
He killed himself, too.
Yeah, well, that too.
And they go into it, and all of the things that you're supposed to do when you're building a submersible, you're supposed to get these classed by inspection. The government or these people, they give different classes to these submarines, and they inspect it. Well, he's like, we're not doing that. We're going to fly under the radar.
Oh, my God.
Oh, and
Basically constructed out of his garage.
What an idiot!
No,
it wasn't that bad.
No, he had.
It was a company.
It was a college, and I can't remember who it was, Stanford or something like that. I might be wrong on that. But they had these scientists, these college physicists and all this, develop the design.
Right.
And he built his out of carbon fiber.
Yes.
And that was the problem. No one had ever done this. So he's like, I'm doing this. I know I'm right. This is going to work. He used a PlayStation remote.
Oh
yeah,
God.
it is a PlayStation. That's crazy.
And there's
Lord.
footage of it. They're going down, and they have...
no, not like that.
They're going down. And it's cracking and popping. And what this is, it's the carbon fiber
falling apart,
breaking.
Yeah.
And
God.
the first time they went down there, they're testing this thing, and they decide, okay, one of the mechanisms we're going to use to try to monitor the safety of this, we'll put microphones everywhere. So we can record how many pops and cracks we're doing. And
obviously it was not with people at first.
no, it always had people.
During the testing.
Right. So I wrote down.
Oh, that's neat.
So the first iteration, the first chassis or submarine or whatever like that failed. They took it down, and it got a huge crack in it.
But they didn't die.
No, they didn't die that time. So it had a huge crack in it, and he said, says Dr. To his head engineer said, well, there's a couple of folks at the board that says you should have known about this. And the engineer goes, I did know about this. I wrote a paper up and I told you about it.
God.
So he goes, then he looked at me, he goes, well, one of us is going to have to go, and it's not going to be me.
Wow.
So he fired
What do you
the
mean?
guy.
Oh,
He fired the guy that was shitting on his design.
Yeah, so basically he fired everyone
What an
who
idiot.
said, this is not safe.
Unbelievable.
He fired everybody, and you'll see his little employment tree and everything.
Of people getting let go.
And then they just start kind of disappearing because they're like, I quit because I'm not going to be a part of this, or I got fired or whatever. And
So this was absolutely inevitable.
And yes, so finally after that crack, they
He had a
couldn't
death wish.
They couldn't fix
Totally.
it. They couldn't fix it. So he fired his whole engineering team essentially, brought new ones on, and they're redoing the tube, and they make a third ratio model, so it's a third the size, right? And that's what they put it in this tank and they pressurize it, right? And they record how many it cracks and everything, and nothing could get past 3,000 meters. And the Titanic is below 4,000 meters.
Right.
So
he's like, we're so close. Let's just get it done.
Well, and the engineer was asked in their hearing, because they have meetings from the hearings of the investigation, and they go, did any model pass? And they're like, no, every single model failed.
Oh, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
Nothing got past 3,000 meters. And Stockton
did anyway.
Did it anyway.
Because they were so close.
Ignored anyone, because he's right. Basically, that's what it got out of his.
He was convinced that it would hold.
Yes. He goes, I'm right. He goes, I'm not going to kill myself. I'm not going to kill anyone because I'm smart and I know what I'm doing, basically.
And he did.
And he did it. And you talked about earlier the survivor complex, right?
Yeah.
Guilt. And there's a guy who went out there the day before who was going, or maybe it was the trip before, who was going to go down.
Yeah.
But the weather was too hard.
He would have died.
Right. So he went out, and they actually got in it, and they were going to go down in another section just to take it down, because they go out for 9 days. It's a 9-day trip. To get
all the way down there.
To get out there, and then you go down, then you come up, and then it's a 9-day process to get
9 days, damn.
Yeah, for each trip. That's not all the way down, but the boat getting out there and everything. Right?
I got you.
So he was coming back, and they're like, well, we're going to go down here. So they get in there, and they go under the water, and this guy's a YouTuber, so he's videoing in there, and he goes, I remember my feet being ice cold and wet. And he showed some video. There was droplets and water inside.
Oh, good.
The sub. He goes, but we didn't go. We were under the water, maybe 20 feet or something like that. He goes, but we couldn't get communication working. So they scrapped it, and we came back up. And the next day or the next trip out there is when it imploded. So he was having a hard time reconciling that. He goes,
should have been dead. He should be dead.
Yeah, he was having a hard time reconciling that. So he, it's fascinating. they make this CEO out to be a complete
buffoon.
Yeah, just shithead.
What a dickhead! Seriously.
Yeah, that's the first engineer. That guy there.
Unbelievable.
And they had a launch guy. He was a longtime submariner, and he hired him. And Stockton says, "I'm going to be the pilot." This guy was supposed to be the pilot on all the things. He goes, the very first time they went down, and the guy's like, the last minute goes, "I'm gonna be the pilot. You're going to stay topside."
So that guy was saved too.
Well, no. Well, he went. This was the very first time they went down.
Oh, I got you.
See, so the guy's like, no. He's like, I'm at least going to come with you in case something goes wrong, right? So they go down to the Andrea Doria, and they go, and the Stockton puts him in this horrible position, like underneath the boat, like the bow is underneath, over the top of him. And this guy is this professional from the Navy is freaking out. He's from Ireland or Scotland or something like that, and he yells at Stockton and says, "Give me the remote. I'm getting us out of here because
you're doing unsafe.
This is extremely dangerous." Yeah. So that guy was canned as soon as they get to the top. He goes, "We got to the top." He goes, "We never spoke again," and I was let go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
Well, and look what happened.
Yeah,
he lived.
There's the Stockton guy.
And remember when it happened?
Yep.
It's like, the military picked up the sound.
Yeah.
The boom.
They recognized the implosion.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
But they weren't forthcoming at first.
Right. They don't talk too much about in the
very recovery.
Well, in the beginning, they show some of the recovery, and they talk about it for maybe the implosion at the beginning. But the rest of it is
how it got there.
From the beginning of Oceangate until it imploded. And then the very end, there's some notes, right? Kind of a thing. It says, this is the final trip. And that was basically end. So,
and they showed a graphical representation of like a computer simulation of it happening and like where the debris went after they
didn't have any of that. But
oh, dude, it was awful.
But anyway, it's really good. It just came out. It's about an hour and 45 minutes, hour and a half maybe. But it's really good. It's fascinating that this guy is just a megalomaniac is basically what he is.
Well,
that's too bad because he killed a lot of promising people.
He killed 5 people.
Oh, it was 5 people?
5 people.
I thought there was only a father and a son and him.
It was 5 people.
Who were the other 2 people?
Well, one was him, I think, the son, and there was some French guy who's been down to he was the expert in the Titanic.
Oh, jeez. So we lost an important person out of all that.
Yeah. Yep.
Damn.
And one or 2 other people. So they interview some of the family members, but it's more about the company itself. So
yeah, well, yeah, how it got to that point,
how it got there.
That's insane.
Anyway, I highly recommend it.
The CEO, the CEO Oceangate, Hamish Hardin.
No,
that was the British
Stockton Rush.
So Hamish Hardin was a British billionaire. Paul Henry.
Okay.
Yeah, Paul Henry.
French,
that's the French guy
who's the Titanic expert.
Yep.
And then the Shahzada Dawood and his son.
Yep.
And then Sulman Dawood from Pakistan.
Yeah. So those 4, and then Stockton.
I'm pretty sure you're nailing all those names, by the way. Like, you're spot on.
Pardon? Come again.
My phonetics are impeccable.
Impeccable. Yeah, that's a sad story, man. But it was riveting at the time. You remember when it was on the news?
It could have.
Everybody was waiting to find out if they were still alive and if they could recover them. And dude, they were dead instantaneously.
Yeah. If you watch this, you're thinking there were 100 red flags.
Oh yeah.
And he ignored all of them.
All of them.
All of them.
Wow. How does that even happen nowadays?
Like I said, he's an egomaniac, is what it was.
Just a narcissist.
Yep, he was.
Wow.
Anyway,
I don't even know if we should bring this up, but I mean we talk about the Brittany Gaines and Biles.
Yeah, that was the whole transgender thing.
A little feud between Simone Biles and Riley Gaines primarily revolves around the differing views on the participation of transgender athletes in women's sports.
Well, yeah, Riley Gaines has like been the focal point of fighting for women's rights in sports, right? And
Biles
out of the blue,
Biles stepped into it.
Yeah, out of the blue, Biles like starts to spout some shit on her, Instagram. Sometimes I wonder if these people had like too much wine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Well, you don't drunk text.
Yeah, like they posted stuff when they were just kind of frustrated. They had too much to drink and they were frustrated and they just kind of boom, 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 boom. And that shit.
Simone Biles
doesn't go well.
Did she marry a football player?
Oh yeah, he was with the Texans and now he's with I think.
So I wonder
Chicago.
what how he feels about her chiming in about this.
Well, yeah. So what happened was she chimed in and called her a hater. And you're just bad for sports or bad
Jonathan
for this.
Owens, yeah.
And it, they turned on her.
And basically, you're a man. That's what she called him.
Oh yeah, she made fun of her stature.
Right.
And she's 5'8".
Right.
I mean, she's not big at all. She's big.
Simone Biles is what, 4 feet?
Exactly. She's tiny, and that's what Riley Gaines said. She was like, "I might be big compared to you, but I'm pretty much a normal woman."
Right.
And it was ugly.
She got her ass handed to her, and I think her marketing team came up with her apologies. Did you read it?
No.
It was very marketing team, lawyer-esque type of.
She pulled in her PR team.
Oh yeah, PR team. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah, she pulled someone in to write this for her. It was pretty pathetic.
I mean, to go from America's Sweetheart, kind of like Mary Lou Retton.
Well, she's done.
Type of thing.
She's not. Well, yeah, she's not.
She's not going to participate in the next Olympics?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Well, and then some of her teammates started coming out. Michaela Skinner started coming out and saying that she had been bullied for years by Simone Biles on the team, like her teammate.
Oh, really?
Did you hear about this?
No.
Yeah, shit's coming out now that she's not all that. She's kind of a jerk to her teammates.
No, didn't know that.
So that's not helping her either. So anyway, it's a sad thing.
Yeah.
You don't want to see that kind of a fall of a champion. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
she's good.
I'm sure it'll blow
I
over.
don't take away
I'm sure it'll
her
blow
skill.
over, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it always blows
It'll
over.
go
That's why
away.
these left wing. I don't even know if she's left wing.
No, I don't think she is.
She just needs to go away for a while, and then it'll be all good.
It'll all come back. Just like Elon. Elon's good now, right? He dogged.
Yeah, that was weird.
He shit on Trump, and then
I don't know what that.
That
all
was
about.
so weird that he posted that. And by the way, he's been on the Epstein manifest list.
Okay, so at first I was thinking the whole thing was orchestrated, right? Because Elon was so tight with Trump that the left turned on Elon, were burning down his Teslas, attacking his dealerships, and he was like, "Dude, I need some separation from you because they're hating on me so much. Let's create a little spat, right, to where I'm not so evil to the left anymore." But then I thought, dude, for him to throw out the Epstein
thing.
That kind of crossed the line of what their little spat could be to me.
I don't know.
But I thought the whole thing was engineered, to be honest.
Could be.
I don't know.
Because Trump never really got too upset about it.
No, he didn't.
No, but the thing is, and probably that was by design as well, but I don't know. It could have been orchestrated. He could have very well known it is a fact. I mean, I don't know if it's a fact, but I've talked to people that say, "Oh no." I was talking to somebody this weekend, a gentleman that was at the party on Friday or Saturday.
Okay.
I won't say his name, but he said, "Oh yeah, it's a known fact that President Trump was on the manifest of those planes." So
I've never heard that. I've
never heard that
he's
either.
Never been. They were acquaintances before that, and Trump disowned them.
Yeah.
There's something happened in Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, he was hitting on a minor who worked in a massage parlor.
Yeah.
And Trump found out about it and threw his ass out.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I think I've said this before. Epstein was a lot of things to a lot of people. Just because you went to the island didn't necessarily mean that you were involved in sexcapades and sex with minors. He was a connector. If you wanted to you had a need,
right?
He knew everyone. And he made you talk to him, and then boom, that he made it happen for you, and he got some money out of it, right? That was his shtick from the get-go, okay?
Yep.
Now, if you were into, you had sex fetishes, and you wanted, and he absolutely could hook you up on that too. Does it mean that every single person that went to his island, it was a hookup for underage sex? Probably not. You know what I mean? And that's what makes it so difficult. I'm not defending Trump. I'm not defending that he was on the plane and that he was at the island. What I'm saying is it was so murky. Everything that Epstein was involved in was so murky that you don't know. You don't know who was in nefarious shit and who wasn't. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
it's not unlike Diddy. Diddy had parties.
Yeah, but not. There were like two sides of that though.
Correct.
Those parties.
Correct. And there were people that went to his parties, and if they found out, like Denzel Washington got into a screaming match with him, he's like, "What the fuck are you doing in your house?"
Right.
You know, and he got pissed off and left. So everybody who shows up at Diddy's party suddenly is now a rapist or a freak or so that's the challenge. This shit is so murky and so, just you can't.
But it does bring the fact that you're kind of like, is he guilty? Why would he say that? Look, why would Elon say that?
Because he was angry at him, and
he's angry and he was immature.
Petty. Yes, an immature, petty little
immature. That's the only thing. It's the immature kid. Always gets what he wants.
That immature billionaire.
He kind of is. He seems immature to me. He's brilliant, but the shit he does and shit he says, and he's kind of in the spectrum a little bit. I don't know.
Yes. Oh, I think he's even admitted that. I think,
and he's just weird. He's weird. I don't know why he said that shit, but it didn't go down well.
No, I think that was it.
I think it was when Trump goes, we'll just cancel Starlink and and the other contracts for the Falcon, and he goes, okay, fine, we'll see you on the Epstein logs,
Right. So maybe
is that what he said?
Yeah. Maybe it got personal like that. I don't know.
It got a little personal, but I think it's bygones.
So maybe it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't orchestrated.
But Elon Musk was disgruntled because of the bill that they passed. Yes. There was all this stuff in it. We called it an abomination of the things, and they're always an abomination.
Yes,
because you have to appease both sides, and there's lots of pork in it and a lot of stupid shit.
It's also mandatory spending.
It also rolled back the EV subsidies.
Yes,
correct.
Yeah, but Trump had a plan for that.
I know, but I'm just saying that might have been. They're speculating that was another thing that Elon was upset about.
It was the only thing he was upset. Well, it was a big portion of it because they yanked that stuff out, and then Trump was kind of like, "Dude, I got you. It's not going to be in this bill."
Yeah, let's go out to your private island. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, you have to do these things in steps. You just can't all of a sudden whack everything.
No,
you have to do it in piecemeal.
Speaking of steps, we do our podcast. The first half we start with a lighter whiskey, and the second one we start with a little bit of a bigger one.
Someone's a bigger pair of nuts on this.
All right, let's talk about this. Yeah, that's got some nuts.
All right, so our second half whiskey of the evening is a Smokeye Hill barrel proof.
Okay,
Smokeye.
Let's just pause right there.
Smokeye.
I'm pretty sure it's not Smokeye.
I know, it's Smokeye. But they spell it it's Smoke Y-E. So is it Smoke Ye? Smoke I? Smoke A?
Can we ask ChatGPT?
Smoke I?
Can you do your thing where it pronounces it correctly?
That I don't think that it's because it's going to go for phonetics. I think you need to go to the website and see if they elaborate on it. But look, we're drinking the 5-year barrel-proof straight bourbon whiskey. This one is Blue Corn. It is masterfully crafted heirloom. This one is 67.1% alcohol, 134.2 proof. This is a tasty nutsack.
Hold on, did I read that it's a 4-grain? Okay, the last site you were just on said 4-grain bourbon. This premium 4-grain bourbon delivers unmatched aroma and taste. Okay.
Blue corn, yellow corn, rye, and malted barley.
Brilliant.
So yes, it is technically a 4-grain.
I've not heard of a 4-grain with 2 types of corn. This is the first that I have heard of. I'm sure it's not the only one out there.
Yeah, I've seen this before that their releases have been outstanding. I think this is the second release that came out, and the first one they were calling that it was similar to the George T. Stagg. I never had it. I don't know. I've never had George T. Stagg either. We've got Stagg.
Matt and I had that in Houston. Went to a whiskey. Shout out to Matt. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, the George T. Stagg apparently that's for one thing.
$100 a shot.
Yeah, it's extremely expensive and it's very hard to find. And this was $65, and
it's very reasonable.
Oh yeah, for what you're getting on this, and it
tastes terrific.
It really does. It's dripping with flavor.
It's rich, and you know what? For being 134.2 proof, the only thing I feel from it is intoxication because it doesn't taste like it's hot. It doesn't taste as hot. Of course, I've been sipping it, nursing it, but
yes, me
that's
too.
the way you're supposed to be doing this.
Right.
And it's super rich.
Oh yeah,
super chocolatey. I mean,
that's what I wrote down as well. Is chocolate on the flavor.
I've got like the big thing. Remember the Charleston Chew? I'm tasting. Remember the big old chewy candy bar? I'm tasting like the nougat and the Charleston Chew. That's what it kind of tastes like to me.
Yep.
Vanilla, of course, it got all the traditional stuff in there, but it's a little honey.
Yeah, it's got some serious legs on it.
This
too.
is delicious.
It's the first one I've ever said I can taste the tobacco when you guys say tobacco.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, the tobacco is there.
Yeah, that's not as strong for me, but it's there. But there's some where that's sometimes all I can taste.
Right.
But there's a hint of it here as well, definitely.
Yeah, tobacco, leather in the back.
There's so much in this.
The leather and tobacco kind of tied in.
When we say rich, this thing is got a ton in it.
It's a long, lingering, not a white pepper. It's got something a little clove in.
There's something that you could feel in the back of your throat that's kind of hot or spicy.
Yes,
kind of like almost like menthol.
Yeah, like you took a drag of a cigarette.
Yeah,
it definitely tickles your vulva.
Fingers your palate.
Wow, that's good.
That's pretty deep.
Yeah, that's going down there deep.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I used the right word, didn't I?
Incorrect.
Oh. Oh God, what an asshole! What are you, Data from Star Trek? Did you hear that?
I just trumped.
Incorrect. You sound like Data from Star Trek. That is incorrect, human. I'm an a-hole.
Sit down, Captain Picard.
You trumped. Well, you got a cramp under your rib. Oh yeah, that was good.
Rich vanilla, caramelized brown sugar.
God, that was funny, Jeff.
Man, I want to say mint, but
I don't get any mint. No way. No mint for me.
I don't, but it's that when you inhale, you can, like I said, it's kind of that menthol if you're.
Yeah, like the air running over the burn.
Yes, over your uvula.
Oh, uvula.
Yes.
Oh, so it's not vulva.
No, it's not vulva.
Oh.
How are you drinking this?
I'm queefing it. No, queefing it.
Oh God.
So I'm curious if what influence the blue corn has.
The honey nougat comes from that.
I don't know. But there's a unique flavor in there for me as well, and I think it's I don't know if it's unique, but it's a little stronger. Maybe it's that chocolate or that nougat that I'm picking up.
But isn't blue corn supposed to be sweeter, right?
I have no idea.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
So
it's supposed to be. No, that's the purple corn.
If blue corn is sweeter, then that would bring out all of the sugar, caramel, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to be,
Could be the high protein content of the blue corn.
Could be.
Yeah, I don't think.
Shut up, Grok.
Yeah, I don't think this is available
seriously?
locally. I don't think we've ever seen this locally. I don't think it's available locally. It's more in the. This is a Colorado company, so it may be only available.
You didn't say where you picked it up, or did you? Maybe I missed it.
I picked this up in Glenwood Springs, Colorado.
Okay,
I think it's a Colorado company. Now it's MGP.
Really?
Yes.
So they picked up a nugget from MGP.
Yeah. And I think they told them how, this 4 grain, they probably gave them some directions maybe. But this is, it's a Colorado. This is not something you can get down here.
Okay, so on this, we're looking at Wooden Cork is the website we're looking at. And what is their take on it? What's their conclusion? Do they like it?
I don't know if this is a review, though.
You paid under $60 for this?
It was $65.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, what's the conclusion? Scroll
if
down.
I would have known this, I would have ordered more.
Yeah, they had another bottle up there.
No, I think they liked it. They said unmatched flavor and quality.
Wow, yeah. Okay, I think it's time to rate this.
Yeah, this is outstanding. Now, this is going to go up against some big boys for us.
Yes, 130.
It's going to go over against, it's not a hazmat, but it's close enough as far as I'm concerned.
Damn, I think anything over 130 should be called hazmat, in my opinion. But
we've got to call it something else.
What is this, 130 what?
134,
man.
Call it high proof.
That will knock you on your ass if you have no idea what you're doing.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, you pour this and you sip on it all night.
Oh, for sure.
Kind of a thing. Kind of like what we're doing, right?
I mean, we're gulping it, but that's okay.
I would rank this really close to the Garrison Brothers Cowboy.
Yeah, that was tasty as well.
That's a strong statement right there.
We
were in the
I'm
nines.
almost there.
Weren't we in the nines for that?
I don't remember. Chuck, what do we got for the cowboy? Do you have that in front of you?
I do not.
I think we were damn close to 9-0.
But other garrisons have run in the high 8s and 9s.
Yeah.
Cowboy was way up there. Okay, I'll start us off. I'm going with an 8-3.
I'm going to go, I think, 8-6 on this one.
Yeah.
It just lingers, a long time for me.
It's so wonderful. It's so wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 8-8. I'm enjoying the hell out of this. I don't think it's as I don't think it has the attributes of the cowboy, but it's damn close. And it, this to me is better than the Pinhook 2-year
It's a 4-year
second year collaboration
or whatever that is. Yeah,
it's a 4-year, but it's a second collaboration, I think. But regardless, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
8-8 all day long.
Yeah.
I highly recommend this. The Smokey, it's smoke is spelled weird. It's Smokeye.
I think it's Smokeye.
Smokeye.
Yeah,
Smokeye.
that would make sense, but it's just
They're not going to put 2 E's in there. Smokey.
Just like sockeye salmon.
Smoke.
All right,
well, then why'd they need the E at the end?
I'm
They could have
putting
just
this-
dropped the E.
I'm putting this to rest because this is a ridiculous
Because
conversation.
it's an eye.
It's
It's
like
smoke in your eye.
Then it's a Smokeye.
it's like the sockeye salmon
You guys.
or cockeyed.
Smoke in your eye.
Yeah, like
really?
eye.
Okay.
Smoke
Wow.
in your eyes.
Okay. I don't know why you broke into song, but
Oh, my
that's
God.
cool too.
Little Tony Bennett.
Do you
I thought that was Platters.
pronounce?
What's the plot? I don't know. I didn't
All
recognize
right, here
it.
we go. I'm going with ChatGPT. Here we go. It's
I thought you were going to sing. Get a little ballad working.
Smokeye Hill is what it says.
No, Smokeye.
Typically would be produced as Smokeye Hill for any of those that are Melungeons,
Right.
which is strange. Why would they bring up Melungeons?
So
I don't
Elvis
know.
Presley.
That's why Sean can't do it.
Elvis Presley would call it a Smokeye.
Correct.
Yeah, good.
Can't ask him anymore, but
We can't. We can ask.
he was
ask anybody?
he was
Has anybody
constipated.
left?
Abe Lincoln.
So this is uncut.
No. The Elvis family.
But hey, look,
God.
the reason why this match is, in my opinion, close to the Garrison Brothers Cowboys is because it is also uncut and unfiltered.
Right.
Is it? Are you?
Yes.
Is that 100% sure?
Yes.
That's what it said on their website.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. That's fantastic. We like that. We gravitate toward shit
It's got that
floating
little
in our
chewy-
bourbon.
Yeah, well,
Well,
I'm on board with that.
uncut
as long as
means
it's not
just-
flagellum.
well, uncut just means it's
Not water.
From the
it's-
barrel.
It's barrel proof,
Straight
right?
from the barrel.
And unfiltered means they just
They
they
don't get
don't
out.
run it through the coffee thing.
That means we pick out the little pieces of wood.
do they not run it through? They don't do the charcoal thing.
They mellow it. They
Mellow
don't-
it?
Yeah, they don't mellow it.
Jesus.
By the way, that's. I know we are off the rails. There's no question. Now,
Can we
are
do
headed-
famous deaths before we get to the end of this?
Yeah, famous death.
let's do two things. What's the score of the game?
Okay. 5-1 with 2 minutes 42.
Is this the last game?
This is game 6 for the Cup. Cup is in the house.
The Florida Panthers, as
Looks
I
like it.
predicted,
No,
are
hold
going to
on.
smoke the Oilers.
Yeah, they would have smoked us.
So
Too.
you're saying they're going to win 4-2?
Yes.
Florida is.
Yes.
Okay. If they hold on. Oh shit! 2 minutes left. I think they're going
2
to win.
minutes
this.
left. 4-goal lead. I think they're
fuck
okay.
the Oilers. They beat the
think they're
Stars. They beat the Stars. I'm on board with the Florida Panthers.
Plus,
winning.
they're Canadians.
Repeat champions.
Exactly. They're Canadians, for God's sakes. They
All right.
booed our anthem.
All right, let's roll with the deaths. So
Famous
the first
deaths.
death we are talking about, Chuck, talk about it. What is
All right, so it's Mr. Sly Stone of Sly and the Family Stone. He is from Denton, Texas.
Yeah.
originally.
Did not know that.
Really? I
And-
didn't know that
yeah,
either.
Yeah.
So what was his? There we go. What's
Dance
his
to
big
the
song?
music. Dance to the music.
All right, cut it now before we
Yeah,
get
yeah.
killed.
it? Yeah, really, YouTube is like going off
Oh,
the rails
they-
on us.
Yeah,
And
You know,
every-
during Horse Neck,
You're gonna have to move on. Yeah, we
everyday people.
Oh yeah,
You know,
people.
everyday people.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
And-
the Beatles.
No,
I'm kidding.
Oh,
Anyway,
okay.
and then
I had
also
to
Brian
figure it out.
Wilson of the Beach Boys, which we'll
Oh,
play
that's a big
little-
hit.
Yeah,
right
that
there.
was. They had such an interesting, unique sound. It was perfect, but weird.
They sound like teenagers, even though they're in their 80s now.
Right.
Dude, I'm just when I lived in Indonesia, we had all those pirated tapes, right? Cassette tapes. I had a best of the Beach Boys that I
like the Beach Boys. They had a lot of good shit.
I abused it, and I have not listened to the Beach Boys really since.
Well, Brian Wilson.
I need to put all that shit in my playlist. The Beach Boys are awesome.
Well, Brian Wilson, did he have some serious? He had a mental breakdown, didn't he?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, he had some mental challenges later in his. I don't know when it hit, but he had some mental problems.
That's sad. How old was he?
36.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that wasn't true. 42 to 25.
So he's 83-ish, depending on when his birthday is.
Yeah.
That's a good life.
So,
and man, what a successful man.
Yeah, the Beach Boys hit a home run, man. They've been running forever, and you didn't hear a whole lot of drama.
well, their drummer died. His
like
brother.
drama, like, you know, being
Like-
a little bitch, complaining about certain things, jumping on the political bandwagon or anything.
Or splitting the band, and then
Yeah.
they had this band and that band fighting over the same songs.
Oh, yeah.
I hate that shit.
I wonder if they, if there's a history of any drug use, alcohol abuse, or anything like that in the band.
Of course, all of
I'm
them.
sure there was.
I don't know.
All of them.
Well, is there? I don't know.
I think there's only one original Beach Boy left. It's Mike Love. He's the last one.
Hey, throw up a list of Beach Boy songs real quick. Don't play them, just show a list. What is your favorite Beach Boy song? Let's do this.
Barbara Ann.
That's yours?
I like that one.
Barbara.
You know what mine is?
California Girls.
Don't Worry Baby. That is my favorite Beach. That is my favorite Beach Boy song.
I thought
Kokomo.
you were going to say Kokomo.
Kokomo's good.
Because Sean Cruz.
Barbara Ann.
Sean Cruz.
Serpent Safari.
Actually, they have a ton.
Surfer Girl.
There were so many good ones.
I don't have a favorite one.
Mine's Don't Worry Baby, hands down.
Yeah, I know them all. I've sang them all. On
We
karaoke.
have never
Be
done
nice.
Beach Boys karaoke, ever.
I would probably say California Girls is probably one of mine. Oh, Good Vibrations.
Good Vibrations.
You know, I remember Good Vibrations mostly because of Sunkissed.
Vibration. All right, good one. All right, guys, we're wrapping up.
Check us out on Facebook and Instagram, Dudes Like Us Podcast or Dudes Like Us Woodcraft. If you want to check out some of the swag we got. We've also got some stickers. And what else we got? We got business cards. God bless. Thank you, Mr. Producer, for getting those knocked out.
We're on the launch pad to fame and fortune.
God bless. Hey, look, check us out. If this comes up, we're going to be at the Horseneck venue. What is that? Where we're going to next week, Chuck?
The Star.
We're going to the Star next week.
The
At
Bourbon
Frisco.
Exchange.
Here in Frisco.
What is it?
The Bourbon Exchange.
Is that what it's called? So
Yeah.
if they find this on the internet, it's called Bourbon Exchange.
Well, they got subscribe to the Horseneck newsletter. They'll send you an invite.
There you go. God bless.
It
All right.
is a limited invite only.
So it is June 17th. That'll be the following Friday. So join us there if it gets out. So it'll get out. So
It'll get out.
Dudes Like Us, I'm Sean.
And I'm Jeff.